Hi, I'm Helen Hughes and I'm your go-to person for all things swim and fun stuff during swimming lessons. So I've been doing a little bit of a mini series for those that are newly qualified, or if you are new to, or you've come back from maybe a break of swimming teaching and just wanting to sort of get to know what the most up-to-date information is, or if you just need to be have a little bit of a boost, or maybe you're even intrigued just to see what what I offer with regards to this topic. So I've done a few other videos, so make sure you check this out in this playlist of the other ones to watch too. So what I have previously spoken about, so you know which ones to watch, is talking about questions that you ask before you even start your swimming lessons, what to get before yourself, to have yourself before you start your swimming lessons. I also went on to talk about planning and what's in this resource, which is in the description, gives you a checklist of what kit that I would advise you to get. This also gives you a template to use to help you when you are planning. This is going to also help you with your planning. I go through what I advise to have and have in your toolkit as a swimming teacher, and one of those is a planner which I have designed myself, so check that video out so you know where to get it and what these all mean together. I've also gone through what some useful resources are for you to find out for, to look for, to gauge towards if you're wanting to, which I do highly recommend that you do. Although you've just done your qualification, keep learning, keep reading, keep looking to see what other people are doing. You know, there is never too much information that you can have. So I am a really great believer in every day learning something new. And if you can embrace yourself and bring loads of books in, go to the library, see what they've got there, and people write blogs like myself. We offer loads of resources that are free. I have lots of resources that you can buy as well. But you know, really if this is something that you see yourself doing for a period of time, or a, you know, for at least some years, this is well worth investing in now. And not saying get it all now, because yes, it can get quite costly, totally get it, but do get little get little bits at a time, and you'll find that your journey of teaching with children is just going to be wonderful for you. And if you see yourself doing this for a while, then it means that you can have a really happy journey doing this, and you're going to set yourself up for such great success, and who knows what's going to happen. So I have a couple of tips here for you, tips of the trade, and you can of course print this off too, but I was going to go through them and then it makes more sense maybe than what's on the sheet. But the first thing I've put down on here is find a reliable mentor or an experienced teacher that is happy to be a supportive person for you and hold you accountable. So it's you're not on your own, and we don't want you to feel as though you're on your own. And it may be that, you know, you're in a centre that you are pretty much left on your own. So, but we don't want you to feel that way. So there are people like myself that are on here that we want you, if you're wanting to do this, then we really want you to do it and want you to be successful in what you're doing. So we want to give you as much information as we can, because we want great swimming teachers, because that means that you know, the children are really getting great quality swimming lessons. So find yourself a mentor. I am a mentor myself too, but there will be people or teachers in your facility, or maybe even asked to go and watch some other swimming lessons from other places. Maybe your centre is part of a like a franchise or something, and see if you can go and see some other teachers teaching in another another area that is close by to you. I've done that a few times, and I find it really useful to go and do that. And I've been teaching for years, but it's really great to go and watch. And what I really advise you to do is watch the children, because they give you lots of they tell you a lot. But I give all that information to you throughout all the other videos that I've done. So the next one is always be prepared to expand your learning. So what we've spoken about in my other previous videos, and don't be afraid to try new things, but obviously in a safe way. You know, so if you have read something and you're thinking, oh, I quite fancy trying that, you know, feel comfortable with doing that, and that's okay as long as you've thought it through. And longer, maybe you need to ask your supervisor, or maybe ask one of the other teachers, do you think maybe I could try this? What are your thoughts? They may even be thinking, oh yeah, that's a good idea themselves. But you know, feel confident enough to give it a go. You don't know until you try it, but just make sure that the children aren't in sort of a danger if you're going to try something that is not on your, you know, prepared list to do, if you like. What I've got here too is have your toys and equipment set up before your lesson starts. So rather than fumbling through, you know, once you've set everybody off or you've started your lesson and you're thinking, oh no, crap, I haven't got this, or I need to climb out and get that, or oh no, it's down the other end, so you have to swim down to go and get it. Just make sure you've got everything. Take a couple of minutes, it's fine, because you're going to have a really good lesson that's going to be constant, so you don't have to be performing for the whole 30 minutes. So even if you have collectively 5 minutes where it means that you just need to get yourself together, that means that the flow of the lesson will be so much better, and you're going to get more out of that time, for instance, that you've got with the swimmers. So if you're planned and you're prepared and you've got your environment set up how you want it to, then it's going to really set you up right from the beginning. And even if you've got lessons after the other, make sure you again set yourself up ready for the next lesson. So start bringing things down as and when you can, if you have lots of things next to you. Next one is keep your lesson plan and notes and water bottle close by to you. So rather than having to get up and out and just checking your notes, or you know, you're thinking, oh no, I've left my water bottle on the shelf and I'm really thirsty, and you're thinking about it halfway through a lesson, you don't really want to be getting out, and of course it's not safe to do so, so don't recommend that. So have everything, have a little area of where, you know, where you're setting your little you know, your space up, and have your water bottle, you know, have your lesson plans here in your little baggie, or have it in your written bag, so you've transferred it from your planning books, or you, like I've mentioned in other videos, have your lesson plan laminated, and you have it with you, so you don't have to be fumbling trying to find where it is. And what I mentioned about having everything ready at the beginning of the lesson, change out your lesson plan for that next group. And get it out, so you're not then having to try and look through it to try and find where it is. And it doesn't have to be big, you know, have them on A5 or even smaller than that, and even like a postcard size, you know, just so you can keep it right next to you. And if you need to take notes, then it's right there, rather than having to remember, oh, I need to remember that by the end of the lesson so I can then jot that down. You can do it then and there. Next I've got in, if you're in the water, make sure you position yourself that it's safe for yourself and or your swimmers. You don't want to be ahead of them, you don't want to be behind them, so stay in the middle as much as you can, and you don't want to be far away from them at all. So if you see that one of the swimmers in the front is going too far ahead, you need to ask them to swim back and come closer to you, so you can get them going back and forth, but they must come back to you to then go again. So don't ever spread yourself thinly when you've got a large, you know, sort of a substantial number of swimmers with you. It's different if you're 1-to-1, different if you're one, you know, if there's 2-to-1 even. So, you know, really that's something that's really quite important for safety wise. You don't want to put yourself in that position of where you're feeling unsafe yourself, and you don't want to put your position into where the swimmers might need you and you're just not there in distance to be able to get to them. If you're teaching poolside, you know, walk up and down with them if you can. I know sometimes if they're in a separate lane, you know, quite a way away from you, and you're having to walk up and down, that's fine. Don't stop the swimmer halfway through to tell them what to do if they're doing it incorrectly. Just let them carry on, and then advise them or tell them or explain to them at the end of the lane. So you walk around, get down and talk to them. And I say that is because otherwise there's constant shouting on poolside. It's going to stress your voice, and the swimmers aren't going to hear you because there is in the water. They're obviously focusing on what they misunderstood what they're doing. But you know, it just let them go. It's fine. It's even if they're doing the hand stroke incorrectly in your perception, it's fine. Just let them know at the end, and then you can talk to them properly. You can get down on their level rather than you know, you're shouting, and you know, it can come across as passive aggressive. So just be mindful of that when you are poolside, and be mindful of the other swimming teachers that are there too. If you plan playful and enjoyable lessons and keep the children engaged and moving, the lessons will go more smoothly. So you won't tend to have behavioural issues, you won't have challenges, you know, you won't have children being naughty. I've got a whole other videos about this, but please look into all my videos, because this is really great when you're new to know this information right from the start. So if you have planned, because you're going to plan really well, and you've got lots of ideas in your mind down on paper, and you know, the kids are just going to absolutely love your lessons, and they're going to move all the time. Don't have them sitting on the side waiting their turn, and you can do things over and over again. It's fine, because they're just gonna, if the parents seeing that their child is having fun, then they will be okay. If they're seeing their children sitting poolside and just sitting there, they're not going to be happy. And certainly if I was your supervisor as well, and I come poolside to see how you're doing, and that's what we see, then I'm not going to be really that happy myself. So another tip here is, if you can't remember their names, it's really hard, isn't it? You'll just have a plethora of name after name after name, and oh my goodness, I'm a nightmare. I really struggle remembering the children's names, and as much as I try to, because it is really effective to learn them as quickly as possible, because you can, if they, you know, to get their attention or, you know, be personal, then it's really nice to know their names. So obviously I do recommend that you learn that straight away, but if you are finding it tricky, like I do myself, is that maybe every lesson ask them to choose their favourite animal or certain fish, or maybe they want to be dolphins through the lesson, or you can say dolphin 1, dolphin 2, or you know, just have something fun. It might even be their favorite color, for instance, and you can say those that are favorite color purple, you're going to go first, or you know, use something else that you can sort of label, if you like, label the swimmers, rather than struggling to say, hey, you over there with the pink goggles. You know, it's something that's fun for the children as well, and it just helps to control the group. Right, some other little snippets on here is always have fun, not one lesson is the same. The children, please put the children first. The children will live in the moment, so whatever they're doing last week's not necessarily what they're going to be doing this week, so just bear that in mind. They're not being rude or they're not being naughty. And like I've mentioned, give yourself a couple of minutes to get your mindset ready for the next lesson. Get yourself prepared in your head. Right, you've done parent and toddler, or you've done a stage 1. Now you're going to be going on to stage 4, because it could mean that you're flipping from back and forth, or it could be that you're doing all stage 4s for that lesson for that day, but it's another group. So what are we working on this week? So take that time to do that. It's okay to do that. And then ultimately here, the parents will be happy if their children are happy. So they're my tips. If you're watching this and you have your own tips you want to add for those that you'll find, if you'll, you know, pass on that fun information, then please write it in the comments. And yes, enjoy, and please watch all the other videos too. Take care and have fun.